Hello, everyone. Now is our Cognos Analytics session 2, and I am Yelena, Cognos Analytics System Administrator. So, here is tonight's agenda. I'm going to go more in details for decision tree model. We're going to talk about the dashboards and infographics, but mostly dashboards. We'll talk about stories and, of course, as always, your questions and answers, right? So, where did we stop last time? We looked at the claims and weather data that stores customer information, such as where the customer lives, their approximate income, right? Their employment status. It stores vehicle information, the type of insurance coverage that the customer had, the type of accident, and based on that, we try to estimate the total claim amount. That's the whole point. But as you may recall, the data had some missing values, right? So what we did was we eliminated the rows, we filtered out the rows that have effective to date missing because we noticed that if effective to date was not there, most of the column values were missing, right? Then, yet some of the income values were missing. We set them to the column average. We worked on stuff like created calculations, we created data groups, etc. Right? So now we're gonna start with decision tree today. Let's go to Cognos, and we're gonna go because I like to actually show it, and I'm going back and forth between slides and Cognos. But again, I'm gonna cover a lot of information, and you're gonna need to watch this recording more than once, okay? Or at least part of the recording. So where did we stop last time? We had the claims and weather data exploration, right? So let's take a look. Okay. Oops. So here it is, right? And remember, last time we built the decision tree diagram. But before we even did that, we looked at what the driver analysis. So see that was a bull-eye diagram for total claim amount, right? And what Elena told you that you look at this driver, each driver is represented as a pin, right? The closer the pin to the core, the stronger is the predictive strength of the driver. But what I also did tell you that we have one-way driver, it's a single column driver, and a driver, one-way driver that has the highest predictive strength, in this case is location code, it will be used as a first split when we do decision tree. So what's a decision tree? We are trying to some kind of build a model that we can use to predict the total claim amount. Like, for example, suppose that I have a brand new record, a brand new customer, right? And we know the customer information, we know the location of the customer, we know the coverage information for the customer, we know what vehicle the customer drives, what type of accident the customer had, and we're trying to use the existing tree to estimate the total claim amount. That's the whole point. But those are what? One-way driver, single column driver, and the strongest one will be used as a force predictor. Remember, it's a force split. Is that? So then we went and looked at the drivers in details, but then we went to the decision tree, right? So this is our decision tree. See that? That's tree. So here, oops, that's a categorical, that's a different tree. We're looking for the decision tree of the total claim amount first, right? And to look at it, what I have to do is I need to change the zoom because I need to look at the full screen. Otherwise, it's very hard for you to see this. Okay, now it's more readable. When I went full screen. So remember that this is a tree, right? And tree consists of nodes. The top node is called the root node. It represents all data, everything, all data that you're analyzing, right? The first here splitting column is a location code. Remember, location code was one-way driver with the strongest predictive strength, right? So here we are predicting what? We're estimating total claim amount. the total claim amount is numerical, right? So here we have the color code. The color code represents the average total claim amount, right? The darker, the higher, the lighter, the lower, right? So we're looking at the decision tree. So now you can collapse the nodes, right? The nodes can be expanded and collapsed. Perhaps in your paper, you want to look at specific section of the tree. So you probably want to collapse the sections of the tree that you're not looking at to have a better diagram. And I can also minimize, I can close that window too. See, now I can read this better. Okay, so this is all data, and if I hover, I can see it represents 100% of data, and in this case, it's 9,136 records, right? So now, I use the location code to decide what I do next. If the location code is rural, I take this pass, and I stop here. I hover, and the average is $76. But then I also can look at percentage of data that falls under this node, right? In this case, it's 19%. Then, if it's not rural, if it's urban, I take this pass, right? But if I collapse it all the way, take a look at it. If you see this node kind of like an underline, right? It means that it's expandable. If there is no line here, it's not expandable. It's a leaf node. So you keep on adding, you keep on using more columns, right? Like, for example, here, we are not done, right? Cognos believes that there is an information gained by splitting this further. So here, I know I have 17% of data, but Orban adding another splitting column gives the information, it's giving the gain. I gain something, right? So here, I can add vehicle class. And with vehicle class, it can be two-door, right? Two-door or four-door or SUV. So there we go. See that? So I know the average total claim amount here and average total claim amount here. I know those two, right? This does not split further. There is no line, but I could still highlight this, so this gives me the rule. See this? If location code is urban and if the vehicle class is a two-door, four-door car, that's an approximate total claim amount that I expect to see. And if you hover, it's going to tell you, you can see what it is, right? And the number of records to which the rule applies. But let's take a look at the suburban. I click here, but I'm not done because see, those are splittable more. So I go by vehicle class, but this is different. This is vehicle class for suburban location. We looked at the vehicle class for urban location. Now we're looking at the suburban, so that's a difference. And I go here, if it's a two-door or four-door car, right? I take this branch, SUV this one, and luxury this one. It's split into three in this case. Well, it's looking at how it's gonna gain more information. So if it's a two-door or four-door car, see this 44% of data falls under here. I click and I go again. So the next I'm looking at my coverage. If it's expanded or premium, we know the answer, right? But if it's basic, we keep going. See that until we reach the terminal node. And again, if I highlight it, this is my rule. See this in this case, location code is suburban. The vehicle class is two or four door car. Coverage is basic and person is married or divorced. So this is the average total claim amount for those people. Oops, sorry, I read it wrong. It's a average. It's a first number. I read a different number when I showed you. I read standard deviation instead of average earlier. So you have to be looking at this top number. This is the average, right? For the claims that fall under this node. So how do we know how far to split? Well, first of all, we need to look at if the information is gained by adding another splitting column, that, and also the number of nodes is limited to 36, then the number of records that falls in each node should be no less than 25. So if I make a split, perhaps, and you get less than 25 in a node, then you have to merge it back. So that's just a splitting criteria, right? So that's one representation. Remember that from last time you have three representations. First representation is a tree. It visualizes the rules. Another one is a sunburst. Sunburst tells you the percentage or the portion of data to which the rule applies. We can see that. It's not that we cannot see it in a decision tree, we can, but this specific visualization is the purpose is to show you, right? Without hovering, you can see that this segment here, suburban, is about two-thirds of the circle, right? So if you have this little bold line around the circle, it means that the segment is expandable. So in other words, it's also like a decision tree, but it's shown differently. You can expand it, and actually you can look at two at the same time. See that? Like this. If I go here, if I click on this section to expand, the corresponding section of the tree will also expand. See that? But here you see the portion of the data to which the rule applies. And remember, I showed you earlier that you have vehicle class within this urban or whatever suburban within location, right? That's a vehicle class for this specific location. See those three sections? And you're breaking down this suburban part of the circle, see? So this is the suburban, and you split the suburban into three sections. And then for each section, you can keep expanding. See, I split this section here. And I can keep going. So basic can keep going, etc. See? Then you also have rules written in English language. So with that, I can just say, okay, here, average, if suppose that my location is suburban, I know that my vehicle class is SUV or luxury car, and the person is employed or on medical leave or disabled or retired, this is going to be approximate total claim amount. Well, something like that, right? So I try to see where my new data matches the best, right? And based on that, I try to estimate the total claim amount. So here, total claim amount is numeric, right? So in this case, we were looking at the numeric tree. Sometimes it's quite possible that you're going to be looking at the categorical target column. You can here you're predicting you're estimating the cost. Sometimes you may want to predict the category. So in this case, it's not a good example, I know, but I just wanted to see how we're going to predict the employment status. So what is this? This is also a tree, but here, instead of doing the color shade, right? Instead of doing the average, you're actually predicting the category. When you do the decision tree for categorical columns, you're predicting the category, but keep in mind, it's not gonna work for all data here. But there are a couple data sets that you have in the assignment option. You have a target column that is categorical. But here, so basically I'm gonna collapse it. And let me show you the difference. So here we are predicting employment status, right? So what is the first one, the first predictor is income, right? So maybe if I looked at the bullseye diagram for employment status, perhaps income was the strongest one-way driver, right? So I've got an income. What is this here? This represents all data. And then I can see the different values of employment status, and this is the percentage of data that has each value. Remember, I no longer see the average. Instead, I see the percentage of data that has each value. And you can see that employees, of course, dominate, right? So what you're going to do here, you're going to traverse the tree until you reach the terminal node. Then, in the terminal node, you're going to look at the dominant category. all right? So your prediction is a dominant. So here it's using the error to build the best model. It's looking at the error, not at the information gain, rather at the classification error, okay? So like here, first thing is an income. So if income is less than this value, what will it do is it's going to take this pass at the top, right? But as you can see, that little line, shaded line in there, it means we are not done. This branch can be split further. So I did marital status, but here, of course, it's clear that if your income is under 25,000 something and marital status is single, see that? It means you're unemployed, see? Red color is dominant, and you can also look at the percentages. 86% of unemployed, done, see, that's clear here, right? Yet, another column could do the better decision, right? So I'm looking at this one. I'm looking at this column here and see this one. No, yes. This is a response. Response no and yes. See here. Then this is really clear. See this one? This rule. So if income is greater than 25,000 something, then we take this pass. Marital status is single. Response is yes. And effective to date, we're looking at effective to date, right? Then it's going to be unemployed. See that? So basically here, you keep traversing to the leaf node and you're going to take the dominant, you're going to look at the dominant color code. All right, this is how decision tree works for categorical. And the sunburst diagram, it's similar. You need to see the percentage, the portion of data to which the rule applies, and you've got the rules, all right? See that? So here this is clear. If income is greater than 44K, then employed, see? If income is less than 25K, then unemployed. Maybe somebody is on unemployment insurance, right? So here, person is retired. Oh, wait, yeah. See, this one is another category for unemployed, and this is a predictive strength. Then you also get the percentage of records to which the rule applies, but how does it determine? See, it's looking at the dominant one, right? And the predictive strength. That's what it's doing here. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back from this full screen and I'm gonna go to slides, make sure that I cover this theory, okay? All right, so decision tree shows how we predict the target column, right? The algorithm, the goal is to find the best set of predictors that we combine, the optimal way to combine them, right? So to read the decision tree, we need to traverse from left side to the right-hand side. The branches are collapsible. Each node represents statistically similar records. Remember that part? So for categorical, we use a different color code. But for the continuous, right, for number, we are estimating the value. So probably you understand the difference between numeric, right? Numeric is a continuous number, but if it's a categorical, it's a discrete value, and you know the number of values in advance. With numerical, you don't know the number of values in advance, it's a continuous number, right? So the root node represents all data. You use the one-way driver with the highest predictive strength for the first input. And as I said, no more than 36 nodes and no less than 25 records in each node. So, and I showed you how you can click on a node, right? Or you can click on a leaf node, or it's also called terminal node, and you see the path to read the rules. Then you also notice that if you look at the driver analysis, decision tree is displayed in the driver analysis, okay? We looked at it. but only the predictive strength, if the predictive strength of the tree overall is less than 10%, then you cannot build a decision tree for that data, all right? The predictive strength must be at least 10%, or it cannot be done, all right? Because before selecting the data for this course for assignments, was making sure that it is possible to build the tree before actually adding the data set as an option, okay? Now this is just showing decision tree for total claim amount. I chose to see everything, but you can also choose to see the top five leaf nodes, the top five values of the total claim amount. You can see the 5 lowest. This is just the portion of the tree that you want to see, right? And so you're using the predictor that brings the highest information gain, right? So this is information gain for continuous. You can see the decision rules. See, it's just in English language. And this is the sunburst visualization. We talked about that, right? And I also have a video on that. You can also edit the drivers that you use for analysis. So if I was going to do that, I would have to go to my in the fields here, see this? In here, employment status is what I'm predicting. I can go here, I can do edit scope, and in here I can specify if I don't want to use specific column as a predictor, see? Or I can use add the column that is not used as a predictor. Is that one? But if you see an asterisk, it means that the column is recommended to be used as a predictor, okay? So that's what it's basically saying here. All right. So now, before we get into this topic, in general, what we were doing data explorations. What is the difference between data exploration between what we're going to do now? And data exploration consists of a set of cards. This is not something that you're going to present to your manager. They're going to say, what is this? There's no description of what each one does, right? I cannot add text here. I cannot modify my visualization's appearance. I just cannot. There's no way to select one point in one visualization and have the same data point highlighted in all visualizations. There is no way to filter all of these visualizations. Perhaps I want to show it everything for specific state, perhaps, right? Well, something like that. Or I want to show only for suburban location. How can I filter all of these visualizations? I cannot. So the purpose of this visualization is to just gain insight, but you cannot change their appearance. So that's leading us to the next topic is dashboard. But before we do that, I need to show you what you will need to do for the assignment, where you get the data. I have to review it because some people might not know. So take a look what you're gonna do. This time you're gonna go to the team content, right? You're gonna go to this folder, and there is another folder inside this folder, this one, unit 6 through 8. What you're gonna do this week, you're gonna pick one of these, and you're gonna work on one of these for the rest of the course, okay? So you're gonna work with one of these for the rest of the course, you choose. If you want to challenge yourself, life expectancy data, it has some missing values, all right? And there are a couple data sets in here that do have categorical target. It's just another way for you to challenge yourself, right? But if you want something that's not as hard, maybe cars is a good one, but cars data, you have a choice. You can predict the horsepower, or you can predict the car's efficiency, such as mileage per gallon on a highway or miles per gallon on a city road. You have a choice. But if you choose it, just stick with it, okay? So on some of them, the description shows you the URL where the data was taken from. You can read the description. Oh, this one is a categorical, persistent versus non-persistent. The target is a categorical. All right. So the next topic is the dashboard. What is a dashboard? Dashboard is a way to present the data, right? I'll go back here. My content. And I'm gonna go to slides first. What what is dashboard? The dashboard has a combination of visualizations with an attractive layout. You may use the grid lines for alignments. You may specify how visualizations appear. And the dashboards have two modes, edit mode and a view mode. Edit mode is what probably your supervisor is just gonna look at the findings. It just you're not editable, but you can interact with this and you can highlight data points, etc. But edit mode, it means that it's editable. You can add new visualizations, you can change properties, etc. Right? But unlike the exploration, you can add pictures. You cannot copy and paste the pictures. You have to get the picture must be online, and you need to get the image URL from online. All right. You can add text. You can add widgets. You may reuse your visualizations from explorations. You may toggle between view mode and edit mode. And very similar to explorations, you can add calculations, you can add navigation paths, etc. But keep in mind that any calculations that you add to the dashboard will be available only inside the dashboard. If I want to create a different dashboard from the same data source, the calculation that I created in my first dashboard will not be available in a second dashboard. So what you would need to do is, if you want the calculations to be available in all dashboards, you must create it in data module. All right. So you're gonna look at the data. You're gonna do a little bit of data pre-processing. Check if there are missing values. Check if there are some unusual values. Check if you really need to use all columns. Like for example, if you have a column state and all data is from United States, perhaps that column can be hidden. Well, I'm just giving you an example, okay? And if you see names, right, because it's an identifying information, it's not used for analysis, you can hide that. Something like credit card numbers. Well, I'll leave it up to you because your view, your understanding of data is going to be different from mine. And if I was going to look at 50 papers, I'm just making it up, on the same data set, it's going to be different paper. Trust me. All right, so you can reuse visualizations in your dashboard. How do you create dashboards? There are multiple ways, but I'm going to show you my preferred way. Of course, I can go click here, new, and select dashboard. But the way I like to do it, I like to find, first of all, I'll find the data modules that I want to use, right? And I created the data module last time, right? So this is my data module. I'm going to click on the actions menu here, and I'm going to say, create dashboard, right? Why am I doing it this way? Because if I don't do it this way, I will have to specify the data source. If I do it this way, it will automatically pick up the data source for me. All right. So now there are two types of dashboard, tabbed and infographic. Infographic is nothing but a long page, right? Tabbed is better because you can split the visualizations among tab. You can organize, like for example, on one tab, I can look at the decision trees. On another tab, I can look at my percentages of data. How does my data break down by a state? Just an example, okay? Maybe on another tab, you want to look at the trends, something like that. You want to split. And maybe you want to add another tab, the first tab with the title, right? On the first tab, you're probably gonna put the heading and explain what your dashboard is, maybe picture, something like that. So basically you split visualizations into tabs. You can apply the filter to all tabs and you can filter visualizations on a single tab or individual visualizations. But the most important part here, that will save your life for the last assignment is that you can export the dashboard as a story. So your task will be to do a great job on week 6 and 7 assignment. Then assignment 8 will be easy. The better job you do on assignment 6 and 7, the less work you will have to do at the end. Well, you will have to do the work, but you will be reusing the work that you did for assignment 6 and 7, right? So the last 3 assignments are continuation of each other, if you will, right? So, and see this, you do this, create dashboard. Why is it easier? Because you know which data module you want to use and it picks up the data. It just knows when you create the dashboard, I'll show you, it's gonna pick the correct data. You don't need to say, hey, wait a minute, which data am I gonna use? Did I save it here? Did I save it there? You know, it's harder. But on the other hand, I just found it and I click on it and I select create dashboard. Here will be my dashboard, right? And I went over the differences, right? Both of them have, but both of them have you can change visual appeal and they have templates. But what are the templates? Well, you've got the freeform template here. So freeform, you can just lay out however you want, right? And that one is not freeform, but the problem with freeform is that it's not going to resize based on your screen size, right? Those predefined ones are going to resize based on the screen size, and you can also you fit the image or whatever, the visualization into the panel. That's what you'll do, okay? Well, what is this? Yes, there's gonna be plenty of time for questions again. Yes. I'll be answering questions, okay? But now we're gonna do this part. Okay, good. Yes, I'll be answering questions. But right now I'm gonna do this lesson, and when we're done with the lesson, I'm gonna get to questions. No worries. Okay, so here, but you can pick any of the templates, but I like 2x2. Why? The more stuff you put in there, the longer it's gonna take the page is gonna take to load. I did hear some of you reporting some performance issues, but before you report performance issues, it also could be you. Why? If I have all programs open on my PC, if I go in and open every single program I have, that may have an impact on my browser, see? Part of it, it's also my browser. If I'm gonna have 1,000 tabs open, it will have an impact on Cognos because it's a browser. See, you're opening up the virtual PC in your browser. If you have a lot of stuff running on your PC, of course, this is gonna be slower. So I do recommend that you close the applications that you do not use when you do your assignment, right? It does have an impact. Also check what is running on your PC in the background. You want to have as less background processes as possible. In your PC, yes, the work is done on a remote PC, but you want to check what you're currently doing on your PC because there have been some issues that the students were reporting, right? And I looked at the screenshot myself, but I could not reproduce it on my end. Maybe because when I tried to reproduce it, I did not have as many things open as you may have had on your PC. So if I open 10 Microsoft Word files, 1,000 tabs, right? Every browser, and 100 tabs in each browser. Open everything, bunch of notepads, bunch of whatever could that be? Whatever, RStudio or anything, bunch of applications. Of course, it's gonna cut back on a RAM, right? That you use to open a browser. So it's both. It's not just the VDA, it's also your PC. Please, do yourself a favor. Close the windows that you don't need. Okay? So I'm gonna select 2x2 because when you have too many visualizations, the tabs are gonna take longer to load. So I'm just gonna do this and I'm gonna click create. What's gonna happen? This is my dashboard with one tab at the moment. What do I see here? Those are the columns, all right? Each icon of the column represents the column data type, right? So we created the navigation path. It's here. All the calculations that we added are here. What was that? That was the filter. We created the filter, selectable filter, that allows us to filter the visualization to personal coverage for small vehicle. But if I did not use the descriptive name, there is no way to know what this is, okay? No way to know what this column is if I did not use the descriptive name at the time when I created this in data module. And remember, I created the data groups. Everything is here that I created. Because I did not create them in data exploration, I created them in data module, okay? So what else here? This is Canvas, where you put your visualizations. And it's 2x2 because this is what I picked. Here is the filters area, and the filters area, it can be expanded and collapsed, right? So I can collapse it or expand it. Oops. Oops. Filters. We click on filters. Sometimes I keep forgetting where to click. Okay. Now, what else is in there? Besides filters, you can look at fields and properties, analysis, etc. Well, I'll try to cover as much as I can. But again, if I cover every single visualization, we're going to be here until tomorrow morning, if not more. Okay, now, the big difference here, I said you can specify properties. What type of properties can you specify? The properties that you have available depend on visualizations. Oh, I'm trying to close this thing. Oops. I'm trying to close the participant thing. Okay, here. So now, this one, at the moment, I did not select any visualizations. What I'm seeing, those are the dashboard properties, right? Properties of this tab. And what properties for this tab can I change? I can check if I want to grid, if I want the visualization to snap to grid, which is yes, I do want that. All right, then I scroll down. I can change the color, background color. I can change the tab, how the tabs look like. What do I mean by that? Well, I can change the tab title color, red. Do you see it's now displayed in red? And I can change the selection color. Selection, it means, see that line underlining the selected? See that's green? I did not mean to make a traffic light here, but it looks like a traffic light. But anyway, I'm just showing that I can change the color, right? I specify this for all tabs, and I can change the fill color for all tabs. Alternatively, if I had multiple tabs, I could also change the settings for individual tab. See, this is the individual tab styling, and I'm going to let you play with it. But I can add more tabs. How do you add more tabs? You click on this plus, it's going to add more tab. Do I have to keep the same layout on the second tab? No, I don't, but I will for this demo. But you can choose different layout. But what if you selected your layout and you change your mind? Well, you're just going to click here, and you see that change template, and that allows you to change the layout. You just change the template. You can also rename the tab, right? And you can copy the tab, right? Make a copy, duplicate, or you can delete the tab. This is what you can do, right? So we looked at the properties of the tab. So for all that last session, Yelena has been telling you that you need to save the work, but did Yelena save the dashboard? I don't think so. How do you know? Take a look at it here. Do you see this asterisk? It means that the work has not been saved. So I need to save my dashboard. How do I save the dashboard? Do you see this floppy disk? It means save. I'm gonna save it. Let's say claims dashboard, right? Dashboard. I save it like this. Then why is my save button gray out? Let's think about it. Where am I right now? I need to select my content, right? I cannot save anything in the team content. You want to select my content and you're gonna go save. And you see, you're gonna see this pop up when you save it for the first time. You're gonna see that little that pop up is not an error. This pop up is informative, all right? So, and again, this is not just what's going on the server, it's also what's going on your PC. Close unnecessary applications, all right? And you know how to use the task manager on PC to see what's currently running. You don't want to be doing this at the same time while you're running the operating system upgrade, perhaps, right? So try to do it at the time when you're not running anything intense. So here are two tabs, right? But I mentioned that the purpose of dashboard is to display our findings. So let's see how we can display our visualizations. Last time I mentioned that you can do pins. You can pin visualization. What is pin? It's a set of visualizations set aside. So, like for example, I want to go to my exploration workbook now. How can I go through explorations? Think about it. So here I see everything that's open, right? I pull this down. I click on content. It takes to my content. Then this is the exploration that we were just looking at. I'm going to click on it to open it. I open the exploration. Now, suppose that there is a visualization that I want to use in my dashboard. I want to use this tree. What you have to do is you have to click on this pin. That will add, it's like a bookmark. It's like a visualization set aside. Perhaps maybe you're using this visualization in a lot of dashboards. It's a frequently used visualization that you use, and you don't want to rebuild it all over. You build it once, you add it to the pins, and you can reuse it everywhere where you're using the same data, right? I'm using the same data here for this workbook and for the dashboard. Okay, now I can select my other visualizations if I want, and also pin them. And as you can see, if I click on the pins here, it will show the set of pins that I added, right? And I have 8 pins. Maybe I added something last semester, or not last semester, last class in this semester. And if you have 100 pins, are you going to scroll through all of them? Probably not. So you have this filter. Sometimes maybe if you remember when you added that pin, you can search, like for example, what pins did I add today? I can select today, and it's going to show me pins that I added today. Maybe did I do something? Maybe I added it last month. I'm going to select past month, and I can see what was added within the whole month. And I can look at it what I added earlier. See, that one was added in February for another group of students, right? Another 8-week course of students. Then now I added something for you, right? And you can select all. Then you can also search for pin if you remember the pin name, right? Close this out. I added some pins, save. Now I want to go back to my dashboard. Of course, I'm not gonna go and click on the browser back button. Instead, I'm gonna click here. This shows me what I currently have open, and I'm gonna go to the dashboard, okay? This is a dashboard. How do I reuse those pins? I click on pins, and I see the visualization, and I'm gonna drag and drop this visualization so that I have to hover over this arrow. Well, now see this? Well, I'm hovering over this arrow to add visualization here. See this? So I'm just reusing the visualization from last time, right? That's one way to add it. There is another way to add visualization is totally from scratch. How do I do this? This is from visualization library, that's called. So this is a visualizations. I want to add a pie chart. So I'm just gonna find it here, my pie chart. And remember, the purpose of pie chart is to show the percentage of the whole, right? So I drag and drop the pie chart here. Now what? Those are the data slots, right? Remember, if the data slots has asterisk, it means that I must specify the column here to see the visualization. So here, I want to show the percentage of customers in each state. What do I want to choose for the segments? I want to choose something like a state, right? So I'm going to pick the state, and each segment is going to be the state. Right? Now for the size, I want to do number of people. One way to do it is to take the customer and drag the customer. Why am I doing this? Take a look at this. I click here, right here. Remember the properties? Do you remember the summarized properties? So here, what is the difference between count and count distinct? Let's think about it. It's possible that each customer may have more than one claim, right? So if I select summarize, count distinct, it's gonna give me the number of customers, right? I'm looking at percentage of customers in each state. On the other hand, if I look at the count, I'll be looking at the percentage of claims. Count distinct, looking at distinct customers, right? Right? But if I do count, it's looking at the number of claims because you may have more than one claim by the customer. Okay, hopefully it makes sense. So, but the point of a pie chart is to see the percentage of data. But at the moment, I see the numbers instead, right? Isn't there something that we can do here? Yes, we can. So I selected this visualizations and the properties. See that this is called visualization in the focus mode. I opened it up. I expanded this specific visualization. See, expand, collapse. Now let's look at these properties of this visualization. And see, I got those little findings here, which is good. But let's look at the properties. First of all, you can change the color. The next thing, this is a legend. You can show where you want the legend to appear, right? You can select the legend position default at the start, or sometimes some people find it annoying because when you look at it, the legend is for things that go throws in the eyes. So you might want to say, okay, I want it on the left, right? It's up to you, but I'm just showing an example for you. Now what? A legend is visible. You can show and hide it. There is an option here, and I'm gonna find it. It's in the chart section where you want to show the percentages, right? So I'm gonna collapse this section, and I'm gonna go to the chart section. In the chart section, you can specify if you want to see the percentages, right? Well, let's find it. It's here, display percentages. I want to see my percentages instead of numbers, right? So that's how you do it. Then I can make it appear as a donut. And what is this? This is a total count of customers, right? And it's a number of customers, not number of claims, but customers. Also, if I click here, this is a data tray. I can see which data is being visualized. Here, it's going to show me the counts. Isn't it nice? I can look at it at the same time. I've got my counts here, and I've got my percentages here. See? It's convenient, right? Very convenient. Okay, and you again could see the whole data. But I'm just showing you the properties, and you can change also. See, there's properties specific to the visualization, but there are also some general properties such as appearance, layout, and the text. And you can change the fill color. If you want to, you can add the border. Okay, that's gonna be the border of this visualization. See the border around visualization. See, that's blue, right? Uh, you can also see there are different, there is position, etc. I'm gonna let you play with this. All right, you can play with this, and you can also change the visualization title, etc. So this is just the appearance. All right, you're just looking at the appearance here. Some properties going to be the same, some properties are going to be different depending on the visualization that you are looking at. All right, I'll let you play with it. See, I chose the smart title, so it's trying to guess what the title is based on the visualization. Oh, but take a look at this. When I double click on the title, it opens up the text properties. I can change the title size. I can do it here, or I can use the toolbars that opened over here. See? Well, perhaps I want to make it bigger. Maybe I cannot see well, right? I'll make it bigger. I can make it bold. I can change the alignment. See that? I can change how things look like, in other words, okay? I know some of you might be tired of looking at the purple color, so you can change, you can select this, and if it's the case, you can change the color palette to, well, I chose magenta, but it's gonna be up to you. You can choose magenta, you can choose cyan, you can choose blue, green, but whenever you do the color codes, please make sure that data is not hard to read. Like for example, if I use the blue font and if I use the blue background and the white font, it's going to be hard to read. You want to make sure that the visualizations are readable, that the user does not have to strain their eyes, etc., to read. It should be readable. Like you want to have a color contrast, light background, dark font, right? Or the other way around, but I prefer light background, dark font. It's up to you, all right? So that's another way. Another way to add the visualizations is to use what? Assistant. Some of you have been reporting problem with Assistant. I know. I recommend that you use Assistant within the exploration or within dashboard. Much easier because it already knows what data I'm trying to look at. It's not going to search all data sets that are in your folder, in the team content, blah, blah, blah. See, it's gonna, if you do it on a home page, you are searching through all data that is in your area, that is in a sample, that is in a data that I uploaded for you. See, it's like a massive search. But if you use it here, if you use your assistant here, it will look at the data that you currently have open. See that? And you can do something like, I just say suggest questions to start with, and it's going to give me the set of suggested questions that I might be looking at, right? Quick, Jesus. Well, maybe which location code has the top total claim amount. I can look at that, but I try to pick up something that has a visualization. See that this one is a visualization. I see average total claim amount by location. I could take this and I can drag and drop to my dashboard. So just know that it's possible to do that, okay? It's possible to add visualizations from assistant to the dashboard, all right? So you've got pins, you've got adding visualizations from the library, and you've got assistant. Also, you have widgets. So I'm going on the second tab and I'm gonna add something like, see here, widgets, it's a text box. I just drag and drop text box and I'm gonna type something. I love data 605, but do not tell anything to my 650 students because they're gonna get jealous, okay? Do not tell my data 650 students that I tell you I love data 605. All right, so this is a text, right? But what you could also do is you can change the text properties. What properties are available? Well, the text color, the styles, etc. Right? So I'm gonna let you play with it. Okay? So see the alignment. Basically, if you know Microsoft Word, right, there are similar properties here. Something along this line. See this? The styles, bold, italic, etc. All right? Then also you can add an image, but for the image, you need to add an image URL. It's here, it depends on what browser you use. I like to use the Google Chrome to search for images. And then you just right click on the image and get image URL, right? To get the image. You can use any images online. So you go to Google and search for images, right? And I'll show you an example. There is a dashboard that I prepared for you as an example. I'll get to it. You can also add shapes and etc. Right? So now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna do the demo on filters. I'm gonna save this guy right here. Save it. I'll close everything. I like to close whatever I don't have open because if I'm opening 1000 files in here, of course it's gonna hurt my performance, right? Okay, so I have this dashboard filters demo. Let's open this one. Open. Okay, so see, it's loading, right? Now I opened it. But what happened right now? I'm gonna say, wait a minute, I cannot edit anything. Why can't I edit anything? Because what the dashboard has two modes. It has the view mode and edit mode. So right now I'm in the view mode. I click here to change to edit mode. So now I can edit it. So here, this is just a crosstab visualization. I'm having the here, those are the state codes, and this is just the customer by the state, this customer by the state, right? And this is a location code, sorry, location code. This is the customer by state. So let's delete this for right now. Okay. So I have two visualizations on the first tab, and here is my second tab, right? Customer by state and code. So this is customer by state code. So now what I'm gonna do, note all states show, note all states show. Now what I'll do is I'll go to my, this is a data source, and I'm gonna find my column called state code, right? So I scroll down here, this is a state code. I drag and drop into all tabs for right now. And I'm gonna select Iowa, and I'm gonna select Missouri. Done. Take a look at this. What do I see here? I see just two states. All visualizations were adjusted for these two states. And here, filter, it says that I filtered my data, right? I can click on this and I can see what I filtered by, right? Oops. This one is to minimize and collage, but see this, I used one filter and I selected here Iowa and Missouri. Now I go back to my second tab and I still see this filter. The data is filtered because I put the filter into all tabs area. If I put a filter here, it will filter all the tabs. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna delete this filter, delete it. It removed the filter from both tabs because I added it to all tabs once and I removed it. You see this? All states, right? All states and all states here. Now what I'll do is I'm gonna take the state code, but instead I'm gonna now put it in this tab. And I'm gonna select Oklahoma and Nebraska. Done. Well, see here, it adjusted for the state that I have selected, okay? But if I go to this tab, the visualization is not adjusted. Why? Because I did not apply the filter to this tab. I only applied the filter to the first tab, okay? So just understand this part here. You can apply the filter to a single visualization, right? You would just select that visualization. Like if I'm here, I can apply additional filter just to this visualization, right? I'm in edit mode, I select it here, I go to properties, and I can, not properties, fields, sorry. Properties show how it appears. I can go to fields, and in here, I could add the local filter. This filter will apply to this specific visualization, all right? Another type of filters that we looked at was applied to the single tab, and then we also looked at the filters that apply to all tab, right? So I'm gonna just go and I'm gonna remove the filter. Okay, delete. I deleted the filter and I'm gonna save it back. Now I'm gonna show you the dashboard that I prepared for you as an example, and that is gonna lead us to the story topic. But first, let's close this out. There is a dashboard that I prepared for you for this demonstration. It's called claims and weather dashboard. This one, hopefully, yes, it's this one. I'm gonna click on this now. What do you see here? Well, I have 5 tabs, and on purpose, I put the number here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did it on purpose, and I'll show you why. But what do I have on the first one? I have a picture, right? This is an image that is online. I just had to search for the image, and then you right click and get the image URL. It has to be something that ends with JPG or PNG, right? So this is our Aristotle claim. What I did a little bit fancy, and if we have time, I can show you, but I created a video on how to do something like this, okay? So here, this visualization just shows the average total claim amount. See that as a user, I can see here the average total claim amount. Then I went further. I showed the average total claim amount by location. Then I went in further and I wanted to show the total claim amount. If it's I want to show the column is a location and the row is the vehicle type, okay? And in the properties, I selected, I wanted the summary row to show, and I change the summary row here in summary column. I selected it in different color. Then I went even crazier and I split it more. I want to split each car. See, this is like a four-door car. For the four-door car, I want to split the coverage type, basic, extended, and premium. See that? I added another column. For luxury, I want to split basic, extended, and premium. And for SUV, right, I split it. Then what else did I do here? I'm showing the average, but this is what I did. If the value is less than certain amount, I chose to show the, I believe it's 250. If the claim is less than 250, I want to show it in the green color and a down arrow, right? If it's above 1000, I want to show the red color and up arrow. That's what it's doing. And I believe I do have a video on how to create something like this, okay? So basically my visualizations are split into tabs and I can select, for example, I selected SUV data point here and all my visualizations get adjusted for SUVs. This is what I meant. So I have visualizations for that use the same data as a source. I can select one point and okay, and if I select one point and everything is going to be selected, like the whole, if I select one point, it will select the data point in the same, in all visualizations. So the question is where I can find the videos. That's a playlist that you were given when the class started. And I believe I put it in the slide deck of the last presentation. I have to check if I put it in this presentation. But there is a playlist and it was also posted in the classroom, I believe, right? There is a whole set of videos. There was the first video was what you see when you log in. Then there are some videos on filters. There are videos, I believe there is something on calculation. And there are a few on dashboard. And then an important one that will save your life for week 8 is how to export your dashboard into the story, which we are going to do soon. We'll soon do that. But what I'm showing here, I selected one data point here. The same data point will be selected in all my visualizations because I use the same data as a source, right? Like see this, I select the sports car. All visualizations now show the sports car. This is how the manager will interact. They will select different data points and all data is linked, right? Then I have another tab for predictive models. Then I have another tab. I want to look at the customer demographics. So I have different pie chart. And then here, I just want to look at the sum of the drivers, right? Monthly premium auto. I just want to look at the average, etc. See, I'm trying to look at the average for the location codes, etc. So I just did. I split my visualizations into subtopics, right? And again, this is a view mode. Let's go to the edit mode, and I briefly show you what I meant. So see, this is the image. If I go to image properties, I'm going to see the URL. This is the URL, okay? This is the URL. And also, if I go to here, you can see this. So this one is a crosstab visualization. If I go to the fields, you can see I'm selecting the column with a location code, and the rows, I want the vehicle class and coverage. I want these two, see? And in the properties, this is a summary color. You have a column that shows a summary. You can show hide that column, but I choose this color. Then there is a section called conditional color, and it's looking at the available data for total claim amount. I click on it, so this is a conditional color. What I did, I added the rule. See this, you can add the rule, and I said if it's greater than 1,000, if it's greater than 1,000, I want to look at this red, and I want to show this up symbol, right? Then I have another rule, if it's less than, if it's less than 300, that's what it does. Then I want to show it green and down arrow. So you can do conditional colors, and I have a video on conditional colors, all right? So close this out. Now we're gonna, first I'm gonna go to the slides, and definitely there will be opportunity for questions, but first I'm trying to cover the lesson. So those are just how to save the dashboard. I showed you the dashboard properties. I showed you multiple ways to add visualizations, right? Or you can duplicate the visualization and then edit a copy, right? This is just drag and drop from the library. I showed you the properties of the pie chart, right? I'll let you play with other visualizations, because if I'm gonna do every single visualization tab, we're not gonna be done by the morning, okay? Well, I showed you how to use pins, right? I showed you how to do the text. Oh, and I have a video on how to do text, I believe. So take a look at that, okay? Please do. All right, so adding an image, you just have to find the image URL online, and you just add it to URL properties, right? The visualizations are linked. I show you that you can select the data point, and the same data point will be selected in all visualizations in the same dashboard, right? And I showed you how to apply filters. So different types of filters. Individual visualization, you can apply to one tab, all visualizations in the same tab, or all visualizations on all tabs. Just know that, okay? Now, this was a dashboard. However, there is no way to do the animation. I cannot do the transition between dashboard tabs, right? What you need to do is you have to create the story. The story allows us to show the transitions between tabs, right? Each tab, instead of tab, I have something called a scene. Each scene is going to have a set of visualizations, the set of widgets like text, visualizations, images on a scene. And I'm going to define the timing. So if the scene has 5 images, perhaps 5 visualizations, I can choose, I can look at the timeline and I can see when it's visible. Like for example, see this one here, I have 4 visualizations. Maybe I want to show this first one, overall average for the first 5 seconds. Then maybe for next 10 seconds, I want to show this one at the bottom in addition to this, right? Then I want to show more complex in the next 10 seconds. I want to show this one at the top right, and I want to show all 4 in another 10 seconds. So I don't want to confuse my user with all 4 visualizations at once. I want to give them a little bit of time to look at the first one, then look at the next one, next one, and next one. I can specify it in a story. It's not possible to specify it here, okay? I have to specify it in the story. So first I save that. When you're done, when you're completely done with your dashboard, this is what you're gonna do. And this is a lifesaver for the last assignment. You're not gonna be creating the dashboard you're not gonna be creating the story from scratch. What you will do is, here, you're gonna save as story. Do you see that? Save as story. Each story, again, you have 2 types of stories, slideshow and guided journey. You choose. So slideshow is like a PowerPoint presentation, right? So you have a different canvas per slide. So let's just stick with it for right now. And I'm gonna do select. Let's see. Now I have to save it. I save it to my content. This is correct. By default, it's gonna take the dashboard name and it's gonna prefix it with the word story, okay? I'm gonna keep as default and I'm gonna click on save. Now what is gonna happen? Remember, I intentionally numbered the tabs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Save. The reason I did it is because I want to show you that the first tab in the dashboard is gonna be this first scene in the story. Second tab in the dashboard is gonna be second scene in the story, etc. So here I have the scenes. Also, story has a view mode and edit mode. Right now I'm in the view mode. Right now I'm in the edit mode. So if I go to the view mode, I can preview my story. At the moment, it's boring. I didn't do anything, right? I played the first slide. Let's see. I did not set the property to continue going to the next slide. See? I did not set, I have to do it manually. And I did not do it, right? It does not change to the next slide. Why? It's because I did not change the property. So let's go to edit. First properties that I'm going to change here is that I want to play all scenes. So whenever I want to preview my story, I want to play everything. So let's see, let's go back. I'm on the first scene and I want to play. I don't want to click on the next scene. I want it to go straight to the next scene, right? So see that I'm playing the scenes right now. But again, all these 4 visualizations are thrown at my face and I cannot really absorb them. So how can we fix it? We're gonna adjust the timeline right now. We're gonna adjust when things show within the scene. So this is done playing. I'm gonna swap to edit mode. What is this? Those are my scenes in the story, right? And I was looking at this one. Okay, so I'll click here on the arrow. This shows the scene timeline. And the timeline, it shows 4 objects on this scene. Each object here is a visualization. There are 4. So here, this is the summary, average claim amount. And what it does, this bar here shows that the duration is 5 seconds. See this? And now I'm showing this visualization for the whole duration. I can always change the duration. To change the scene duration, I would just drag this and drop. So suppose that I want it to be 6 seconds. So I'll just drag and drop this here. I extend it to 6 seconds, right? This extend, and I'm going to extend this. So this scene is going to be now 6 seconds. But as I mentioned earlier, well, it's more than 6 seconds, but I'm just showing you that you can drag and drop this part here and it will extend the scene duration, okay? I don't want to be 5 seconds. I want to show it more, right? Because maybe in 5 seconds, my user does not have enough time to absorb it. Now what? I want the first one to appear immediately. I want to delay this one maybe by a couple of seconds or a second and a half. So I just drag and drop. I wanted to show here. Oh, this is a by location table. So this is going to be this table here. Next table, I want to show it even later, right? So I drag and drop. This is a starting point when I start seeing it. And this one is here. So if I preview the slide, in the beginning, so this is a timer. In the beginning, I see this, right? It shows the bottom one. So you can preview like this. See, this is a time marker. And I can see what shows at that specific time. Right? I can do this. Or I can just go and do previous scene. So it's gonna just play that scene. Oops, it went to the first one. Next one, this one, right? And I hit play. See, it's playing right now. I'm just showing you how to test this. So you're testing the time when things are visible, okay? Now I'll save it. And I'm gonna show you more properties, but first, so I just showed you stories. Again, you can just go and select new and select to create story from new menu, but if you do it this way, uh-oh, you're in trouble. You're gonna have to specify the data set that you're going to use. You're gonna have to add all of these things and visualization manually. But the time is running out. You have a paper to write. You have a full-time job perhaps on top of the school. You have family. What you gonna do? Well, well, you have to do a great job in assignment 6 and 7. Then you can reuse the dashboard and save it as a story. You might probably gonna be adding a scene here and there, but most of the work should be done in the dashboard. All right. So this is just the story sessions. Uh, for the slideshow, it's like a PowerPoint slide. You use each scene is on a different canvas. But for the guided journey, I'll show you the difference. It's all on the same canvas. It's like it slides, in other words. You can still, for both of them, you can configure when things appear. You may change duration and you may apply filters, add animations, etc. You will need to take some little bit when you're doing a story. You want to spend time on working on specific like properties of the stories, but you're gonna have a lot of stuff ready. Maybe you'll end up adding visualization here and there, but most of the stuff should be done on week 7. Trust me, you're gonna save yourself a lot of time. If you do the great job during the week 7, 8 should be no-brainer, okay? So this is just showing the slides on the, you can expand this thing collide and you can add, you can change the timeline when things are visible, when things are not visible, okay? Then this is just showing you how to save your dashboard as a story. But I also wanted to show you, so here I'm going to the overall properties. And this one was a slideshow, but I want to do the guided journey and I want to change the layout. I like this one. But again, this is my preference. Your preference is going to be your preference, right? Then I can also change how I'm doing the transitions, right? So here, well, story type, guided journey, yes, that's all good. I can change the canvas. There are more settings. But again, if I'm gonna do all of this, if I go over what each setting does, we're not gonna be done by morning, okay? So this one, I can also preview data that is being visualized, right? And remember, I can see my data, right? So it's here, this is the data, and each color code, each icon is used for different data types here, right? And I can add calculations, but these calculations won't be available anywhere else where I use this data as a source. So see, that's different. Why do I see only one visualization instead of 4? Because it will show only the visualizations that you display on the first second. See? So that's why you see only one visualization. But if I do the preview, so I'm gonna do, I switch from edit mode to view mode, and if I do the preview, right, I can just play. If I play, see what happens. This is how it's transitions. I just played one scene, but I want to play all scenes. So see this? I'm playing it. Now what? See this how it is? It's like a sliding. It's using the same canvas, and it slides. And again, probably I'm doing it wrong. I should have done it in a like this. I should have done it in a full screen mode. Should have done it this way to preview. It's much easier for you to see, right? If I preview it like this, right? Right? And also it's easier for you to submit the screenshot. You have to submit a proof that you worked on a dashboard. So here you probably play around with the zoom and you can take a picture of this. See here, it shows all your things. See that? You can take a picture of this just to show that you did the work. You have to prove that you did something, right? So, and this one, if you click here, it just shows you all things. I like that too, kind of, because it shows how many things you have and what on each thing, all right? Then you can also add scenes. You would click here and you would select the layout. There are different layouts for the scene. Okay? And I'm gonna close. If there is anything in particular that you want to see in examples of, please request it, and I'm gonna try to work on it. I'm gonna try to make it so that you can have it. All right. This is just shows you how this dashboard converts into a story. This is each tab becomes a scene. That's for you. I did not put the link to the playlist in this presentation, but it was in the first one and it was also in the classroom. And I'm going to include, when I email the professor the slides and the recording, I'll try to re-add the link to the playlist, okay? Now, your turn. Let me see your questions. One of you wanted to ask, let's see, how can you, well, you submit the ticket. You submit the ticket again, because see, the ticketing system, it's not only it's not only when the system is down, it's also when you want to do how to do something with the software, right? You submit the ticket because we have to track all questions in the ticket. That's it comes from the my boss, let's say this way. It comes from management. All software questions must be tracked in the ticket. There are multiple reasons for that. One reason is, suppose that multiple students ask the question. Multiple students need to know something. So for the next semester, maybe we decide to create a knowledge base or something like maybe another video. If I know that 30 students need help with this, I'm going to create a video. You see? No, that's not true. Gin, this is not true. Uh, because this is not true. How did you submit the ticket? Did you use a form in the classroom? You need to use the Salesforce form in the classroom, okay? And then we will help you, me and Mike. Please, okay, please forward those emails to me, and I need to see, because when you submit the ticket, you need to choose virtual lab. You want to make sure that the ticket lands in the correct department, okay? And actually, can you see my screen? You still see my screen, right? I hope you can see my screen. Can you? Okay, because what I'm gonna do, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the classroom right now, right? And so I'm in the classroom, right? And I'm gonna go to your course right now. It's gonna be in my recent somewhere. So that one is this semester, right? I'm gonna go to session 9084. It does not matter, okay? And I'm gonna preview it as you, okay? You go to the content. In the content, I'm showing you how to submit tickets to make sure that you do get help. Okay, I go scroll down. This is the virtual lab environment, right? You go here, help, right? It's here. You click on here, see? You click here. It's gonna open the Salesforce form. Very important, very important. In here, you have to select the virtual lab support. UMGC virtual lab support. If you don't select this option, your ticket is going to go to the wrong people, okay? And it might take forever to get it. Also, if you call the help desk, it's going to be a problem. Do not call the help desk because they don't know what your homework is, okay? You have to use this here. And yes, I would like to see who handled your ticket. Please do forward the emails to me, okay? I want to see because more likely your ticket went to the wrong people, see? So you're gonna select student, then in here, you want to select data, right? So this one, oh, you want to select data, there should be graduate data. They keep on changing this drop down. So graduate data, is it here? Data analytics, is this one, this choice, okay? Then you probably here, you choose other. I'm gonna take care of this on your behalf, right? So graduate, this is the data. You want to select course. Your course is 605. If you select the wrong course, it's gonna go to wrong TA, okay? You put your section number, you put the academic term, which is now, we are in a spring, right? You put the assignment name, the assignment steps. Well, just put something in here. Then, if you have any issues, you can attach your screenshot here. Describe the problem as much as you can. Please make sure that you put the email that is in a Salesforce, or the emails that you use and the emails that you actually check, because if you don't check that, what happens is that when the TA picks up the ticket, there is a section called correspondence. It picks up the emails that you have in the system, and it's going to send the response to that email, okay? The email is not going to be from TA directly, it's going to say from virtual labs, okay? So make sure it is not blocked by any of the filters, okay? So let me see. So, but you need to, okay, I'm trying to see. So I showed you how to save the dashboard. Videos, I'm gonna give the URL again. For questions, you have to submit the, okay, well, you can email it to me again, but again, we'll need to put tickets in. Do both. Okay, let's do this again. Let's do this. You're going to put the ticket in and email me and Mike the ticket number. How about that? You're going to submit the ticket. You submit the ticket first. Then you can send an email to me, right? And copy Mike and put the ticket number. That way I'm going to know what ticket you submitted. We'll find it. I can search by the ticket number, find it, and make sure that it gets answered, okay? So you do both. You put the ticket in and email. And the email shows the ticket number, because when I respond or any correspondence, it has to be added in the ticket. They need to know what was done to help you, okay? Because see that other students may have the same questions, and we can create it can go to the knowledge base, or it can be a new video. It could be something that I adjust in my sessions to help you. Because if I don't know how to help you, then, okay. So I don't know what the questions were again, but please do forward it to me and I can take a look, okay? Please forward it. When you have a filter on the dashboard and you save it as a story. Oh, that's a good question. I have to check what happens. So here the question is, you have a filter on the dashboard and you save it as a story. My assumption is it should save it. It should copy along the filter, but I need to check. If it's another thing. If I don't know what the answer is, I will try to get back to you, right? So let's see. That was a good question. So see this. This is what that question was. I'm gonna close everything, and I have a dashboard here. This is a claims dashboard. I'm gonna go in here, right? And what I'll do here, I'm going to define the filter. So I'm gonna go to the edit mode. So this is a question. So watch this. Okay, I'm gonna add a filter right now. So I go here. I'm gonna go to sources, and I want to add. I want to filter by location code or state code. I'll take the state code. I'm gonna add this to all tabs. Well, it does not matter, right? Okay, Oklahoma, Nevada, Missouri. Done. I'm gonna save it. So the question is, I have a filter here. What's gonna happen if I create a dashboard? Let's do this. Okay, now I'll do this. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go save it as a story. Right? I'll just pick this. I'm gonna do select my content. I'm just gonna call it like this. Save. Let's see what happens to the filter. Ah, do you see that? It's gonna copy the filter over and the same values. Take a look, see this? So sometimes you ask me a question, I don't know the answer, but what I did was I said, okay, let's get the answer. Let's see what actually happens. So here it is. I filtered the dashboard and then I saved the dashboard with the filter turned on. When I open a story, the same filter will be turned on. The filter got copied over to the story. However, keep in mind that if I go back to my dashboard, if I make further changes to my dashboard, those changes are not going to be reflected in my story, okay? Just know it. You want to do this, you want to save it as a story once you're completely done with your dashboard. So hopefully I addressed this question. Let me know. But this is an excellent question, okay? The filter will copy over, okay? Dynamic filter, what do you mean? Well, you can create a filter in a story too. Absolutely, and you can create a checklist. See this, if I click on this filter, there is an option. There was an option to add a filter to the canvas, not here, but when we looked at the dashboard, for the filters, you can remove it, and there was an option to add it to the canvas, okay? You can add the filter. It's going to be like a checklist. Yes, you can do that. You can do a lot of stuff here. If I show you everything, you know. Oh, you asking about my email? Okay. Okay. But you have to submit the ticket, okay? You must submit the ticket, and the email includes the ticket number, okay? We can do it this way, and also copy Mike. So, okay, you do this. You need to submit the ticket, okay? Because I'll put all of the correspondence in the ticket, okay? I'll give it to you again. So, but you have to put the ticket in because that justifies that you received assistance, what assistance you received, etc. You will get this recording, okay? I'm very bad with names. Lemel, right? I hope I'm pronouncing it right. As I mentioned in the beginning, you will need to watch this recording and more than once. Some sections of this recording needs to be watched more than once. It's a lot of information, but what you saw today, it's like a preview. There are different topics. We did the decision trees, we did the dashboards, and we did the stories, okay? There are several topics. So it's broken down and you need to take some time to watch the recording. You will. So, okay, calculated field question. When you created the in data module, then you created the dashboard. If you edit the calculation, the changes should be reflected in the dashboard. It does. It does. Because, see, okay, so this is a question. I created my calculation. Then I created the dashboard. If I go to data module and edit the calculation, the changes will be reflected in the dashboard. But you will need to close and reopen the dashboard. Does that make sense? You need to close it and then you need to reopen it. If you do not do that, then it's not going to refresh. You see what I'm saying? I hope I answered it. It will. It will show. Okay? Another thing is that I need to say it a million times, like a broken record. Before you log out, very important, you have to close everything. You have to close it. Close, close. Okay? Close everything before you exit. How do you exit the application? Do you log out? Click here and click log out, and then log out from this machine, right? Click here, here, and then you do the log off. Are you doing it this way? Please do it this way. If you close the browser tab, if you exit Cognos just by closing the browser tab, your session is still running and consuming resources, okay? Okay? Because people have been reporting issues with Cognos. Think about it how you logged out. Closing the browser does not completely log you off. You have to physically go here and log out to log out from Cognos. Then you need to log out from this PC, this virtual machine that runs Cognos, right? Okay. Oops, not here, not this. Right now, I'm accidentally touching the Zoom controls. Okay, here, and in here there is a log off. You have to log off from the workstation, okay? Because if you omit the steps, next time you might have problem when you log in. All right? People report visualizations corrupted. This is another point here. There is a dependency here. So not gonna do it, but what would have happened if I go and if I delete the data? I used the claims and weather data to create data modules, and I used my data module to create the data exploration, right? So this is the data. What's gonna happen if I delete this file? Data module becomes invalid. All exploration dashboards can become invalid. Unfortunately, there is no way to fix it. Suppose that somehow I get another file called claims and weather with the same name. Does it fix the situation? No, no, because each file has a number. Each file has a file ID. And your dashboard, when the relationship, when the dashboard is linked to data, it's linked to that specific ID. It's not linked to the specific name, right? So let's see if I can see it here, if it's in details. Well, it's not probably in details, but it could be in the properties somewhere. Oh, do you see this one here? Each copy of the data has a different ID. Do you see that? So when you create data exploration, when you use this data to create data exploration, this is an ID of this data. If I delete this data, and if I upload the data, if I get another copy of the data with the same name, it's not the same file because it's a different ID. See? Well, I should save files under different name, but if I delete it, right? I delete the file. And then I re-add the file with the same name, my dashboard is corrupted because it goes by this ID. And each time I make a new copy of the data, it's gonna be different ID, okay? So just know this, okay? You just know this one. I just showed you it's also in the properties, okay? Okay, so I showed you that it goes by ID, so do yourself a favor, do not delete. Be careful, okay? So just to make sure I don't delete, I click out of this view. All right. Questions, let's go, let me see. I'm gonna check the chat. Guys, I love questions. But again, as I said, you need to submit the ticket and email. We can do both, it's better this way. And if you want to see the videos on something, tell me. And I'm gonna schedule some time on a weekend and I'll create it if there is a demand. But if people silently struggle with something, then what could I do, you know? If I don't know what you need help with, how am I gonna do? How am I gonna help, you know? Yeah, so any other questions for me? There is an opportunity. Somebody had a question about assignment 2 or something? What questions? Do you have specific questions about assignment? What questions? Again, I need to see specific questions about the assignment. So think through, before you asking for help, you need some homework to do. You need to prepare, okay? Okay, please do send. And also put a ticket, please do. Do both. We have to put the ticket. And when the TA, when Mike, he's been doing a great job. If he schedules the session with you, please come prepared, okay? Okay, again, I need the ticket number, okay? Okay, please send me the ticket number. I'll take a look. But what I'm saying here is that if Mike schedules the session with you, Zoom session, please come prepared. What do I mean by prepared? Have your questions ready. Instead of telling him, hey, my assignment is not working, you need to, be prepared with questions. And I don't know. I need to see the ticket number. Send me tickets number and I'll take a look in. And we'll go from there, okay? Because I do take time with students and Mike does too also. More likely the ticket may have landed in the wrong hands. So I can use the ticket number to find the ticket and we'll see. We'll go from there. We'll take it. Okay? So I because I've been doing it a lot. I've been supporting 650 a lot. 650 is gonna go away, unfortunately, but well, that's okay, no problem. 665 replaces 650. 660 and 665, those two replace 650. 605 replaced 610. So you guys in the new program, but it's very exciting, very interesting courses. And in this class, you're not writing the code. Later on, you'll be doing the Python. You'll be writing Python notebooks. A lot of exciting stuff. So I hope you have fun. I hope you enjoy. For right now, this recording is long. It's gonna take a little bit of time to generate. I'll send the teacher the recording and the slide, okay? How to connect with me, how to reach out? Well, you know my email, don't you? You don't know my email? Well, the professors feel free to give my email. That's fine. However, the questions must be put in the ticket first and then email me the ticket number. And also copy Mike, two of us. We're gonna schedule some time with you. Okay? Okay, let me see if I can do, how do I do this? Everyone. And if I don't have the answer, I will get back, okay? Like, see, there was one question here that I did not have the answer, but I kind of like work through the answer, okay? Okay, you can have my email, no problem. Sure. But please put the ticket and email the ticket number, okay? So that way I will know and I will find the ticket and I'll see it. Okay, and include Mike because Mike is officially TA and I'm administrator. The two of us can help. I'm familiar with the content also, so no worries. Okay, so any further questions for me? I'm doing my best to help you guys. No questions? Well, then we're gonna call it a night. It was a long session. And again, oh wait, we'll need to do anything in Cognos. Oh, for quiz two? Wait a minute, for quiz? Yeah, for quiz two, yes. Quiz two, you had to do something in Cognos, yes. Yeah. Quiz two is a hands-on, and then you answer the question about data. Mm-hmm. Well, you just follow the instructions, the steps explain clearly, like how many columns in the data, right? What's an average, something. Oh, for unit 6 quiz, probably not. I'll have to recheck the questions. Some questions are theoretical, some questions are when you need to do something. I'll have to recheck. Okay, but no worries. I mean, we're here to help. We're not here to hurt or to fail or anything like that. We're here to help you. Okay. So, I mean, if you do what we tell you to do and what the teacher tells you to do, you'll be good. I'll have to recheck the questions, but if it does not say like something like other questions about specific data, well, I dubbed it because for week 6, 7, and 8, you have a choice. You can choose the data. So no, it's not possible to create the questions that applies to all data uniformly. No, no. For so you're gonna select the data set. You have a choice, right? So it's not possible to create a question that applies to all of them. So probably not. But check the questions. And I don't know how many attempts you get. 2 maybe? Something like that. But more than one for sure. Okay? And when you take it the first time, try to take screenshots of your answers Well, I'm just giving you a hint on how to take the quiz, right? Anyways, any further questions? If not, then I'll wait for that recording to process. Hopefully it's not gonna be too late. Then we go from there. All right. And I want to thank everybody for attending these sessions, and I hope you find that helpful. All right. So I'm gonna end the recording.